beautiful girls, and let's talk some hot topics at this beautiful night.
Sounds good.
And do you know Greta Thunberg? She is popular recently on the internet.
Is it the girl who spoke at the UN Climate Action Summit?
Yeah.
In fact, she had already launched the Friday for Future movement as a young climate activist before that, and after this incident, her influence grew.
She has indeed influenced many young people. A 17-year-old girl from Guilin, China, Oh Hongyi, participated in the Friday for Future movement under her advocacy. In fact, there are many such activities, such as the Sunrise Movement.
Ah, it sounds good. And I remember when I was 16 years old, I even can't understand what is global warming comprehensively. But after 16, they are standing on the world's upmost climate governance forum to deliver their speech, and I really admire them. And I have a question that what role did their climate protection activists play?
Well, Friday for Future, or FFF, is a global strike movement that started in August 2018. When 15-year-old Greta Thunberg began a school strike for climate. And the goal of the movement is to put moral pressure on policymakers to make them listen to the scientists and then to take forceful actions to limit global warming.
Sunrise Movement is a movement to stop climate change and create millions of good-paying jobs in the process. It calls on people to unite and respond to make climate change an urgent priority across America. And the corrupting influence of executives are policies and elect leaders who stand up for the health and the well-being of all people.
Oh, they are really excellent. Not only did they contribute to climate change themselves, but they also influence and call on more young people with the same ideas as them through the Twitter and challenge the views of climate skeptics like Donald Trump. However, I have a question. What specific measures have they taken to protect the environment?
Well, in fact, they are more adopting climate strikes and practicing low-carbon lifestyles. For example, in 2019, Thunberg sailed across the Atlantic to the UN Climate Action Summit.
Chinese girl Oh Hongyi has become a vegetarian in response to climate change and believe that the hotel's disposable items and some facilities will cause a waste of resources and a rise in global temperature. So once she was angry because her parents had booked a hotel for her, and to the end she stayed outside the hotel for one night.
Oh, this sounds really crazy.
Yes.
And in their view, all industry products come with evil carbon dioxide. And to avoid excessive carbon dioxide, we must reject all industrial products, shut down factories, and stop using coal and oil. This seems reasonable, but if implemented according to their ideas, the earth may not perish. Then will mankind really be saved? By the way, is that a fundamental purpose of preventing global warming? To avoid the extinction of mankind or repair the damaged earth?
I agree with the survival for mankind. Protecting the environment is not for the earth, but for humans. No matter how much carbon dioxide emitted, how serious the environment becoming, the earth will still exist and remain balanced, but human beings will be died out because of this.
Yeah.
If we return to pre-industrial civilization according to the vision of climate activists, the possibility of coexistence of human development and a clean environment will be only stifled, and the building of human civilization and society will collapse faster. Protecting the environment is a human being's self-help for the survival of the species. So we must consider cultural survival and social stability altogether.
Yes, just as we cannot give up ecology for the sake of economy, we cannot give up economy for ecology. I think that we should give consideration to ecology and economy to realize the harmonious development of man and nature. But I have to say, we should also notice that many young climate activists are younger than us, so they lack systematic thinking, which makes them feel that they are right, their way is correct, and we cannot all deny or criticize them.
But as far as I know, Ohoi and many climate activists, they are taking part in the campaign at the cost of dropping out of school.
Yes.
And Ohoi said that his self-learning on some knowledge is related to the global warming and environmental protection. Well, maybe his self-learning ability is worth of recognition. But the juvenile thinking lacks of systematicity and fully comprehension when it comes to the problem over right or wrong. And on the other hand, the cause of dropping out of school to engage in environmental protection campaign is far more than the benefits.
Yes.
To control global warming, we need scientists investigating to the climate change. We need the activists of high credibility and policymakers with firm beliefs, technological developers with innovative capabilities, and a self-disciplined and efficient public. If the children do not receive professional and systematic education, they will hardly be such functional figures. And choosing to drop off school means a narrow vision and make no substantial contribution to environmental protection.
I also think that we need to continue school life, learn more useful knowledge, and at the same time build their own values. Otherwise, they will easily exploit it and become a partisan tool in election competition. Because of the stunning speech given by Green Thunberg, the European Green Party poll support has doubled. Predictably, in the foreseeable future, the European Green Party may bribe them to gain more support. This goes against their original intention to protect the environment and prevent climate warming.
Yes, Thunberg is favored by the Green parties of various countries. They strongly support Thunberg's movement but for their own interests and funded her with $1 million. Thunberg has given lectures in New Zealand, Canada, Berlin, London, and other places in 2019 and 2020, calling on students to strike to fight against the government inaction. However, I don't think the government is doing nothing. In fact, the government may do more than what we thought.
Agreed, Macron said in an interview by journalists. Those extreme positions are the root cause of hostility in our society. Young people's gathering are meaningful, but we must focus on those who hinder the government from taking measures to tackle climate issues. And I didn't feel that the French government or the German government is obstructing the implementation of those policy sides. France will completely ban the use of the coal and will also stop the development of hydrocarbons. We are taking action. What we need is a teenager who can take concrete action to help us put pressure on those who handle the implementation of environmental protection policies.
I also saw a command by putting on the internet, and as I found it, Putin said that no one explained to she that the modern world is complicated and different. People living in Africa and many Asian countries want to live in Sweden with the same level of wealth. What should they do? Explain to developing countries why they should continue to live in poverty and not like Sweden. I believe that Sandberg is a very kind and sincere girl, but if some men use children and young people for personal gains, they will be condemned. Adults must do everything they can to prevent young people from getting into extreme situations.
Actually, we all know that climate change is a global issue. It requires coordination and cooperation from all countries around the world, and the climate change problem cannot be solved overnight. However, the young climate activists are likely to judge whether government takes action from their daily lives, such as whether their friends and family use disposable products or travel by cars. However, the government may consider transforming the economic development mode and optimizing the economic structure. This is the difference between government behavior and the command of climate activists. And on the other hand, the policy analysis of various countries requires foreign language for first and strong understanding. Sometimes young activists cannot fully understand policy documents published, which containing blueprint of domestic economy development and the diplomatic target of global governance. They have an eager heart to tackling global warming, while it takes a long time in fact. Therefore, in general, I agree with the original intention of young climate activists and their efforts to deal with global warming. However, they have so many limitations. Maybe they should adopt more active and effective methods. What do you all think?
I agree with you overall, and I benefit a lot from today's happy conversation.
Me too. And it's time to go to bed. So good night.
Good night.
Good night.